Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragons and Dragons, your one-stop YouTube channel for all things fantasy. Today we're going to be doing the second episode of recasting Stormlight. I'm just in a slightly different room for recording today, so apologise if the lighting is a bit weird and the laptop is there because I'm uploading a video at the moment. So you guys will have already seen that. This is probably going to go up on Friday, so depends, yeah. So enjoy that. Anyway, Stormlight. Let's get into the first casting. So, in this episode we're going to be casting Renarin, Adolin, Navani, Amaram, Sil, and we're also recasting Wit, because I've had a change of heart. Anyway, let's get straight in with Renarin Kholin. So, we need someone who can convey the nerdy nature and the uncertainness which comes from Renarin's disability, but that also needs to evolve into maturity and ability to stand up for himself and his family. So I chose Lewis Hines, however it's pronounced. So I am probably you as well, will know him as Klaus from the recent Netflix series of Unfortunate Events. But he played a orphan Klaus. If you've seen, I totally recommend watching the series of Unfortunate Events. It's such a goofy series, but it's also such a good adaptation of the books that really captures that sort of strange queerness, of those books. Never mind, I'm getting back to Stormlight. So Lewis Hines as Renarin. Okay, next we have Adolin, Renarin's older brother. So we need someone who is a warrior down to the core. Adolin is a duelist, the best in the kingdom. But he's also a highborn prince, and he has a certain arrogance to him, especially in the first few books, before he meets Shalon and softens up to Kaladin and becomes a much more noble person. He also evolves into his own, especially in the area of fashion, which is an interesting character trait for him, but it's a nice one thrown in. It gives him individuality. So my choice for this was Bradley James. He's another pick from Merlin. He played Arthur, who is like another Dead Ringer character for Adolin. He has that arrogance, but also that warmness that shines through. And he also has that weird love of clothes. But in his performance as Arthur, you can see the royalty shining through, and the warrior, even in the first few episodes, which are all I've really watched. But, okay, so I think that's enough explanation. So, Bradley James as Adolin. I almost said Arthur. Okay, moving on. Next we have Navani. So, she is the Queen Mother, and yeah, motherly is quite a thing to describe it, but she's way more than just a mother. She's an inventor and a thinker, and she's incredibly smart. So we also need someone who can play well off Russell Crowe, who I cast as Dalinar, who she ends up marrying, as well as whoever I end up casting for Gavilar. But so I went with Cate Blanchett, who has played well off Russell Crowe, and this may be a similar dynamic, but not the same in Robin Hood, which was one of my main sources for casting Russell Crowe as Dalinar. But Cate Blanchett's performance as Marianne in Robin Hood shows the feistiness and the determination and the intelligence that she would bring to Navani. She's also a very seasoned actor and around the right age for Navani. Next we have Bright Lord Meridas Amaram. So I cast Tom Hiddleston in this role. Yes, I know what you're saying. I already cast him as Wit in the previous video, but that's why I mentioned at the beginning that I have recast Wit as well, for someone I feel like I overlooked and that I really would like to see in that role. Anyway, for Amaram we need someone who can play the nobility and the front that Amaram puts up, and he needs to convey that he could honestly have a reputation matching Dalinar's for honour, but also for fearsomeness. So I'm again looking to Loki, where he has proven that he can play this sort of conflicted, honourable character, but he'll also play up Amaram's evil, conflicted, slightly morally ambiguous side from the books, where he turns evil, but he also feels like he's doing what is best for Roshar. So Tom Hiddleston would be able to do that great. He's also proven himself in fight scenes in those movies as well. But he also has that nobility and superiority, which would be good for Amram. And he is around the right age. He might be slightly older, but it is. I don't feel like it's a too big an age gap. So Tom Hiddleston as Meridas Amram. Next we have Syl. Syl is Kaladin's honour sprint, and the first sprint we get to know well in the books. So Syl has this childlike fascination with the world, but also has this wisdom and age and etherealness behind her, because she is over 1,000 years old and has lived for a long time, but has also slept for a lot of it. She also has this impatient restlessness and a very strict moral code, which she has to enforce on Kaladin. So we need someone who will work well with Robert Pattinson, who I cast as Kaladin in the first video. Go to that if you haven't yet. But we also need someone who stands a bit apart from everyone, because she's another worldly being. She's a construct of human imagination, thought and perception. So I went for Evanna Lynch. I'm pulling from her performance as Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter movies. The way Luna is played by the way she plays Luna is very ethereal and sort of disconnected with the world, almost uncaring, and it would be great to see that brought to Syl, as well as some of the energy and morality that she also brings to Luna. So Evanna Lynch as Syl. Finally, I have my recasting of Wit. I know some of you would have been quite surprised when you heard that I was doing that for this video as well, but it probably got straightened out slightly when I got to Amram. But, so, again, Wit needs to be this otherworldly character. You don't know much about him, you don't learn much about him at all in the books. I'm 3/4 of the way through Rhythm of War, so I'm almost at the end of that, but not entirely. But so you may learn more about Wit than that, I don't know yet, but this is still casting for early movies/books. Anyway, Wit is another worldly character, but he also can fit in with normal people. He's extremely jovial and jokey and doesn't seem to take anything seriously. But he has this underlying menace that you know you shouldn't really mess with him. And it's you sort of let him throw you around a bit, especially quite verbally. He's also quite quick with his tongue. So I cast Matt Smith. I'm pulling from his performance in The Doctor, where he plays it incredibly energetic, but also otherworldly, and he feels 1,000 years old. And he also has a great sense of humour in that. So I'd like to see that brought to Wit. So Matt Smith as Wit. Well, anyway, that comes to the end of the recasting for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Deepfakes took a little while. These videos do take longer than I thought they did. There will be at least 2 more in the series. There might be a bit of a break before doing them. Message me or put in the comments or the community page if you have another recasting you'd like me to do. I am tossing up doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon, as well as casting for a Ranged Apprentice series. TV show, not series. Both of those series are very close to my heart, and I'd love to see them brought to screen differently. Anyway, so there'll be at least 2 more episodes in the series. One I'll be going over Bridge 4, another one I'll be going over the Monarchs of Roshar, and possibly a 3rd one where I cover the Spren and maybe a couple of the Parshendi, or singers/listeners. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I've really enjoyed making it. Sorry it took such a long time to come out. And there'll be a bit more gaps in my releases now that I'm back at school. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. It helps me understand what you guys want to see. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.